So we're still on the assessment processes for effective health and social care delivery, but on learning outcome 4, which is be able to advise others about the role of assessments. So 4.1 is formally instruct others about the assessment process. And then 4.2 is assess staff understanding of the impact of assessments on individuals and their families. So we'll go here. So formally instruct others about the assessment process. So on here, when you're actually doing the assignment, you'll see that there is no 4.1 to answer. And that's because the actual assignment itself acts as you formally instructing others, so that you physically doing an assignment is answering this question. So, but I'll explain when we get into the assignment section. So there's a lot of different ways that you can actually let your colleagues know about the assessment processes. Now, you can do this through staff training resources, like you can supervise them, create handouts, make a PowerPoint presentation, have a leaflet, do a weekly meeting, do appraisal. So there's so many different ways that you can let your staff and your colleagues that you work with know about the different assessment processes and also to update them on those processes. Now, these training resources, so whichever way that you're actually passing on information, they might include some of these things here. So you might have the reasons for assessment planning and reviews. So why are they actually done? You're going to have information about how and when this is carried out. You'll have positive and negative impacts of assessments. And then you'll have examples of social dynamics, living arrangements, optimizing independence, person-centered ways of thinking, and the use of effective communication and inclusion. So when you're giving training, in effect, to your colleagues, letting them know about assessment processes, you'll most likely cover these type of topics. Now, the reasons for assessment planning and review, so you'll be passing on information like that. So you've got to let them know that there's clear links between the assessments of need and plan of care. So you're carrying out an assessment so you can create a care plan. Then you're talking about the implementation, the evaluation, and the review. Then you're just talking about, what the clear reasons are as to why these assessments are done. What is the most suitable one to be done depending on the service user's situation, and then how you're actually going to carry it out. So you can carry it out, in many ways, like we discussed yesterday. You could do face-to-face, you could do telephone assessments, online, self-assessments, or a user-led assessment as well. And then you can also pass on information on how this is actually done as well. So it's quite basic and straightforward, really. You're just letting your colleagues or the people that you work with, staff members, know that assessments are carried out for X, Y, and Z, and this is when we're going to do it, and this is how we do it. And then you probably want to talk about positive and negative impacts of assessments. So you've got to look at what the positivities are, what the negativities are, from all these assessments that you're doing, from the programs and the policies that you're recommending to your service users. So some positives could be that there's better access to service, medication, and assistance. Some of the negatives could be that there's restrictions put in place, so you can't carry out daily activities without assistance, and the service users' wishes might not being met. They might not want somebody physically coming into their home to care for them because they think they can do it themselves. So they might be resistant to that. And then there could also be possible effects on social dynamics, on your living arrangements, on your independence. There might be an issue on your person-centered ways of working and the way you communicate and the way inclusion actually takes place. So there are good aspects of having an assessment and a care plan put in place. But then there's also negative aspects because you might not necessarily be following everyone's wishes. It's impossible to make everybody happy all the time. So just got a little image of what a health assessment impact is. You've got your screening, your scoping, your assessment, what recommendations you're doing, how you're reporting it, and then how you're monitoring it. And then again, another image on how this is just like some images of training resources, how a health check can be carried out. So just examples of what could be created for here. Are you okay with this 4.1? Do you want to go over anything?
No, it's just simple, isn't it? It's a process of actions based on the needs of the individuals concerned. So you just explain, isn't it?
Exactly. That's true. Brilliant. So let's go on to 4.2, which is quite a short one as well, which is assess staff understanding of the impact of assessments on individuals and their families. So here you would actually just carry out an assessment on the understanding of your staff. So you've got to check, do my staff actually know why these assessments are being carried out? Do they actually know what the impact of these assessments are on the person, like the service user, the patient, and their families? Now, there's a lot of different ways to do this. But, it really is quite personal, but some of the most common ways to do this is just to talk to your staff. Make sure they know what topic you're talking about, and make sure they actually know what is going on that day. So ask them questions just to clarify. Do they know? You say, okay, what have we learned today? Do an overview, do a 5-minute chat at the end of the meeting, and just to make sure that they've actually understood what has happened, and ask them questions so that they can answer and you can check, yeah, actually they do understand, or no, I think I need to give them some more time and give them more information and teach them again. You can also give your staff access to additional training. So if you realize that there's a bit of gap in information or that there's a lack of understanding, have them mentored, give them coaching sessions. Let them go through a simple thing like a leaflet in their own time so that they can actually read it and read and read and read again until they actually understand what's happening. Training sessions, do presentations, and then assess if they've got an understanding of the impact of assessments on their family. So think about things like, do they understand what responsibilities the family members and the individuals have now that they've got a whole new care plan come into place? Do those service users actually know who's actually coming to assist them? Are they getting a what do they call it, domiciliary, a care worker, someone is going to come in and do living with them? Is somebody going to come in once a week for 2 hours, or are they going to have somebody daily? And then again, what sort of frequency of appointments they've got, what home visits they've got, how long. I've multiplied appointments here, but we're going to ignore that. So, do they actually know where they need to be and how they're going to get there? If the care workers are coming into their home or if they're going to visit them. So it's just it's just common sense, just having a clear bit of information given out. Make sure that all the staff members understand what family members' expectations or questions will be, what effects they're going to have with all these new things put into place, and go off that. So, would you like to add anything for this section, Ellie?
I was just thinking then when you were saying it, so in here, this is a rehabilitation centre. So obviously, I was in addiction for however many years, and you don't realise the people that you hurt around you. So get what you're saying, because the staff say all the time, like when family members ring up and stuff. I mean, I speak to my family anyway, all the time, but when they do ring up, not with me, but with like the newer lads, they don't ask if they're all right. They ask if they're still here. You know what I mean? Because it puts them on just like, you don't feel them. It's the same when you're caring for someone. When you care for someone, people focus on the person that needs the care, but no one takes the time out to actually spend time with the family members that are actually care and the stress that they're under, because their lives are going to have to change as well. Their lives are going to be different because they're not going to be able to do what they used to do, because now they've got a responsibility of looking after whoever it is. So
exactly, no, you're 100% right, because it's one thing, we always focus on the person who isn't feeling great or needs that assistance, or has a long health issue. You know, we always end up focusing on that one person, but it is, you're 100% correct that the family members, the people supporting them, do often go ignored because you don't really understand the impact of what they have to change, or will they be able to do the daily things that they did on a normal basis, or are they going to have to come home and do a lot more assistance to their family member? You know, so yeah, you're completely right. So we've just looked at how to formally instruct others about the assessment process and assessing staff understanding about the impacts of assessments on individuals and their family members. So I'm going to, let's close